From Omaha's news leader, this is KETV Newswatch 7's Chronicle.
Good morning and thank you for joining us. I'm Bill Shammert. Nebraska lawmakers are back in the office this week. The first session of the 110th legislature began January 7th. They have a lot to tackle in 60 days. Lawmakers must address a projected $471 million budget deficit, trying to balance the budget without raising taxes. In just a few minutes, we'll sit down with Governor Jim Pillen for his priorities. Kids, property taxes, and the budget are some of the biggest. First, Chronicle's John Grinvalds has a preview of what we can expect over the next couple of months.
A new year means a new legislative session in Lincoln, a 60-day sprint to, in part, tie up loose ends from last year. One of those being an ever-growing budget deficit, now up to $471 million.
It is a big number. I was hoping for a smaller number to start with.
The state's 49 lawmakers must balance the budget, but they don't all agree on how to do that. Governor Jim Pillen has proposed cleaving up to $500 million from the state budget.
We have to monitor our spending and we have to be fiscally conservative, or else, it could go a bad direction.
I think that we can't continue to cut our way out of this crisis.
A major theme of 2025's legislative session, lawmakers controversially modifying ballot initiatives passed by Nebraskans.
We don't need to thwart the will of the voters. Quite frankly, there's no trust in this body.
Senator Jane Raybold's bill, which failed last year but will almost certainly make a comeback this year, would carve out a separate lower minimum wage for 14 and 15-year-olds and cap future minimum wage increases at 1.5% instead of the ballot initiative's plan to tie it to inflation.
By not managing minimum wage better, we're creating this imbalance and this own inflationary cycle on top of the real inflationary cycle.
Legislative action tweaking ballot initiatives spurred the group Respect Nebraska Voters to launch a new campaign for the 2026 ballot to make it harder for senators to curtail voter initiatives. And this year, a contest for who leads the state. Governor Jim Pillen is running to keep his job, and he faces a possible challenge from former state Senator Lynn Walz, who launched an exploratory committee, and a potential rematch with Charles Herbster, a longtime ally of President Donald Trump, though Trump has already endorsed Pillen.
And we will hear from the governor in just a few minutes. Right now, John Grinvalds, the voice you just heard from our Lincoln Bureau. John, it is your first session as our Capitol Bureau Chief, but far from your first spring in the capital city, right?
Absolutely. I have spent a few years now covering the Capitol, even back to my newspaper days at the Beatrice Daily Sun, right out of college. I was covering it a little bit and then at 10/11 for a couple years, and now I'm happy to join the ranks here and cover it.
The unique unicameral we have here in Nebraska. Okay, this session is different than the 90-day session, right? What can we expect?
Yeah, it is a 60-day session, so right out of the bat, it is shorter. And so you can expect things to happen quicker at a faster pace. It's more of a sprint than a marathon. 90 days, a bit more for like a marathon, but you're actually running almost a marathon at a sprint pace. It's going to be very fast. You have all the bills that carried over from the previous 90-day session that they couldn't get to. And then they also have the other things you have to fix in that session from the new year itself and all the developments in the budget. So lots to get to in just 60 days.
And already hundreds of new pieces of legislation introduced. Right. Okay, let's talk about the budget. $471 million budget shortfall. Democrats, Republicans, they're going to try to attack this from a different angle.
Absolutely. It is. Everybody agrees there's a huge budget crisis. They have to fix it. That's the number one thing you have to do constitutionally. But how to do it, that's the big question. Democrats would blame the budget deficit on the tax cuts that have personal and corporate income tax cuts that they say have benefited the most wealthy. They want to see those paused and they want to bring in more revenue in that way. Whereas maybe some Republicans on a certain side of the Republicans want to see sales taxes increased. And then others just want to see cuts. A lot of Republicans agree that cuts need to be made to the state budget. Governor Pillen wants to see, 10% cut, if possible, made. And he also would like to see some of those sales tax increases as well.
This is an officially nonpartisan legislature, but it's pretty clear where everybody stands, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, and yes, you You can see that on their registration, on their official registration. It's supposed to not carry over into the unicameral. And what's interesting is there's not caucuses here because it's a unicameral. It's very different than other state legislatures. You have just kind of the Speaker of the legislature leading the charge, no individual Democratic whip or Republican whip kind of bringing things together. So that makes things interesting. But yes, absolutely, you can kind of see it takes shape. There's supposed to be 33 filibuster-proof majority for Republicans based off of registration, but of course it always doesn't always go that way. There are Republican state senators who disagree on some issues, and so on the margins you'll really find a 30-31 strong contingent at all times, but to get 33 is a very, very hard thing, and that's the number you need to break a filibuster and make a bill get through the session.
That is the important number, 33. Of course, 25 to simply pass it if there is no filibuster. We talked about the budget. What are some of the other big priorities you expect this session?
Well, of course, there's going to be some controversial things. Whenever there is a tight-fisted fiscal year, you're going to see culture war issues crop up, especially in this very polarized time. So, of course, Senator Kathleen Kauth introduced a bill that would kind of restrict bathroom use based off biological sex. She is championing that. That is from last year, but kind of got blocked by a Republican state senator, Merv Reed, last year. He doesn't seem convinced still. Then there's other things. Senator Wendy DeBoer, she prioritized a bill that would basically take about $14 million to help working families with childcare kind of maintain the same rate as the federal funding subsides for it. But of course that costs money, and that's the issue you'll find in this year. A lot of senators have passion projects they want to pursue, things they want to fix, but how do you find the money to do it? That's going to be the big question.
Going to be tough to get anything passed that's tied to appropriations.
Absolutely.
John Grinwald, you'll be hearing a lot from him this session. John, thank you for joining us on Chronicle today.
Thank you.
Next on KETV Newswatch 7's Chronicle, I sit down with Nebraska Governor Jim Pillen, talking his priorities for this upcoming session.